Hi, thanks for dropping by. I'm Elaine, and this is Let's Talk Alzheimer's for a fresh approach to caregiving. Today, we're going to talk about grief and the brain from the most difficult stage. Having a one-sided conversation about grief can be tricky. From my end, the goal is to bring new thoughts to an uncomfortable subject. From your end, breathe deeply, relax, and be aware of opportunities. Now, people tend to run from discomfort, and grief is uncomfortable. Grief is an emotion triggered in the brain. Think of grief as the flip side of love. Love being strength to face doubt and discomfort, and the strength to move forward. When feelings of sadness or loss emerge, we don't like it. We're uncomfortable. It produces a numbness that drains our desire to do simple, everyday things. Be aware, this is when denial and anger try to muscle their way into our lives. Grief could cause us to feel nothing. Nothing meaning, if someone was here and now they're gone, we feel empty or nothing. When a life is built with someone and they wash the dishes while you dry them, yes, some people still do that. When they're gone, there's nothing. When a life is built with someone and they grew tomatoes to make fresh tomato and mayo sandwiches for lunch, when they're gone, they're missed. There's nothing. When a life is built with someone and there was anger, deception, or jealousy, when gone, mixed emotions remain. So why does this happen? In her book, The Grieving Brain, Dr. Mary Frances O'Connor opens the door to a new understanding of how the brain helps us recover from grief. After the passing of a loved one, we're disoriented. There's a loss of time, place, even who we are. Yet, holding, touching, or smelling the personal items of a loved one can be comforting. It brings back memories of time shared. Turn this into forward movement. It's our choice to change feelings or remain sad. Finding comfort takes many forms. Keeping a bedroom or office exactly the same, making a small shrine of pictures and personal items, all these produce comfort, which is great as long as there's forward movement. Acceptance is not achieved if a life is relived in the past and remains there. That's the difference. A troubled relationship must also move forward to find comfort. Religious faith is a place to redirect the hurt, to keep a loved one close. This forward movement is accepting. But why is still the question. In the brain, the amygdala and hippocampus regulate our emotions and habits. For more about them, watch the Let's Talk Alzheimer's videos, The Brain and Body Part 2. Now, if there's a sudden change in our routine or habits, it's a major surprise to the brain. Why is that? Well, in the brain, a habit is formed by repeating an action over and over again until something new is learned to take its place. As a result, the brain learns to predict our behavior. If the habit was to fix a bowl of oatmeal for someone each morning, then one day that person is missing, for the brain, that's a confusing surprise. Because it can't predict the behavior. It's not part of our brain's experience. The brain must learn this new experience, which can happen quickly or take a long time. The brain will adapt and learn whether we tell it to or not, but if we help, it happens sooner. Through the senses, the brain begins to build and collect new experiences or new data. To better understand habits and the senses, watch the Let's Talk Alzheimer's videos, Communication Parts 1 and 2. When a loved one is no longer here, it's not necessary to make an extra bowl of oatmeal. The brain has to learn this. Only one tomato and mayo sandwich is needed. And when there are mixed feelings, the brain must learn to balance new emotions. This updates the brain's database, or the amygdala and hippocampus. It takes time for this to happen. Time to ease the pain. Dr. O'Connor talks about counter-factual thinking, our real or imagined role in the death or suffering of a loved one. Some of the what-ifs that we allow to tumble through our brain: if I had done this or that, he would never have died. If the doctor had done this, she wouldn't be dead. If only he'd done what I'd asked, it wouldn't have happened. It can be a long list. And if allowed to continue, these unhealthy stories and thoughts separate the mind from what actually happened. In reality, the loved one won't return. Another word Dr. O'Connor uses is rumination, a negative thought pattern or repeated, prolonged negative storytelling that aggravates anxiety and depression. For anyone who hears it, "It wasn't my fault," and other negative reasons why. "It's not fair. Why me? What am I going to do now? No one cares about me." These negative thoughts become a crutch when a personal decision is made not to change. When the brain is allowed to be open and to learn, it can change. To start, redirect uncomfortable feelings by doing something you've never done before: skydiving, bungee jumping off a bridge, climb a mountain, or sort through Dad's closet. Each choice is scary, but can happen once the decision is made. It's painful to look at Dad's clothes, so first, take small steps. Give it thought. Would a family member like to have one of his sweaters? Locate specific places to donate clothing. Find a job training organization that provides nice clothing for interviews. Be comfortable with your choices. Over time, this self-motivation helps the brain to have new experiences. Don't rely on a crutch. Rediscover an old hobby. Write a memoir. Paint the house. The act of doing is the tool. As the brain learns, we feel better. We begin to move forward by making decisions and solving problems. By having these new experiences, the brain learns new habits to take the place of old ones. Grief is not the only reason to teach the brain new habits. The process of moving forward or learning and accepting can be used in situations from depression, addictions, PTSD and anxiety, mental health issues, and everyday decision-making. To remain grief-stricken is a personal choice. It's also a personal choice to change how we think, make decisions, and build confidence. For strength and encouragement, remember the words of Amanda Gorman: "When this ends, we'll smile sweetly. Finally seen, in testing times, we became the best of beings." For other informational videos, subscribe to the Let's Talk Alzheimer's channel. For more details, read Alzheimer's, Be Aware and Prepared, or BAP, as I like to call it. Of course, click the like button, leave a comment. Thanks for joining us, and hope to hear from you soon.